So, welcome back to ongoing meditation session. So today is the 1st of January 2021, first day of the first month and of the year 2021. So this is time for the meditation. Sitting comfortably, collected mind, and relax. A new year is something that we all look for, but also it is teaching us to understand the nature of change, even in the conventional level. So we are changing from the old year to the new year. And that change takes place. And we see that change. And we are so excited. But if you become a little bit of mindful about this change, I am pretty sure that all of us will be confused for a couple of weeks that are we still in 2020 or 2021. Even when you are writing, you probably will be writing 2020 rather than 2021. And that much we are conditioned by so-called perception that we are in. Now over 360 days of a conditioning of a mind, it will take to change that perceptions straight away. And over these few weeks, we will be deleting that preconcept or perception of a year or 2020 and replacing by 2021. Without knowing, slowly we will be replacing it. And by the time when we are fully replaced, we even didn't realize that we are replaced by it. A new condition begins. And similarly, if we look at our mind and looking at very closely how our mind is engaging and how ourself we are reacting to the things, each and every matters are conditioning us. And it's up to us that how much we are conditioning ourselves. The more we conditioning any particular form, a particular one, then we will become in the future. Now, practice of a meditation is also one form of a conditioning ourselves. Conditioning ourselves to be happy, to be overcome all the miseries. So in the past, we were simply conditioning ourselves for fulfilling our desires. And 24/7 days, we are feeding our desire. And whenever we can't attain what we wish for, then brings the misery, sadness, sorrow, and different types of emotions. And that is conditioning towards the misery. Whereas a practice of a meditation is we deliberately, with our own intention and a motivation, we're conditioning towards the wholesome mind, wholesome state of the mind, which will bring us happiness, which will bring us calm abiding, which will bring us serenity. More than that is having a right attitude to the things, to ourselves, to our understanding, to the nature. And that attitude becomes the right view, which is the true knowledge. And once we have got a right view on the things, then that brings the real happiness. So that's why practice of a meditation is transforming ourselves from misery, conditioning towards the misery, to conditioning towards the happiness. So that's why whatever we do, whether speaking, whether physically acting something, or even thinking, and particularly nowadays we spend much time thinking about this and that and stimulating so many stories and emotions. So we are conscious about it. And we are taking or conditioning ourselves towards the better, towards the happiness. And this comes with the practice. And this practice, it's like going to gym. We have to do regularly. Doesn't matter how many hours or doesn't matter how many minutes. We have to have a formal sittings, 10-15 minutes, if possible an hour, at least of 10-15 minutes a day. It's like going to gym just to keep up all the hard works that you have done. As we know that at the beginning we have to push ourselves pretty hard to gain the moves, ways, techniques, and even that brings a lots of pains, muscle pains, tiredness, but you never give up. All the muscle pains and all the tiredness, you take it as a benefit from what you have done, and you will continue. And over the period of a time, or a month or 2 months time, you don't have to push that much hard. All what you need is to keep it going. And with that, you gain what you wish for. And also, your health become healthier. And similarly, in the practice of a meditation, it's like going to gym that you have to do regularly. At the beginning, it may be very difficult, but having seen the benefit of a meditation, we better push ourselves, making a resolution that once a day or twice a day, and this amount of a time, 10-15 minutes of a time, I'm going to dedicate and give it to myself for the practice. Some days can be serenity, attaining the calmness and the concentration. Other days may not be, but we'll try continuously. And over the period of a time, what happens is that your mindfulness becomes stronger and stronger. The more your mindfulness becomes stronger, the alertness and awareness becomes very active. And with that, you will be able to deal with every situation and every conditions that you are in And you will simply understand that these situations, these conditions are simply not for permanent. It's going to change. And since it is going to change, our every reaction becomes response. We will not be reacting over it. We will be using skillful awareness to respond skillfully, which will bring happiness, which will bring calmness and peace of mind. And that's what we need. So that's why in the beginning we may have to force ourselves to practice, and even forcing ourselves to concentrate on a primary object for some times. But once this becomes a second nature, then you don't have to have a primary object. You will be using every sensory objects as object of a meditation. And you can develop concentration as well as awareness. And every time when something happens, before that conditioning towards the misery or any condition towards the sadness and any other emotions, you will be able to catch it. You will be able to be mindful of it. And you can choose to react or respond. And definitely, because of having right understanding, you won't be reacting. You will be simply responding, this is happening. That's it. So I wish you all for this year to attain a good mindfulness, good awareness, good alertness, and having a right attitude and a right understanding, an ability to transform every miserable things to the happiness. All the miseries are simply a compost rather than rubbish. So transforming all the rubbish into the compost so that we can nurture ourselves to grow, nurture ourselves to be happy. So with this in mind, let's practice. Simply sitting meditation, basically sitting comfortably, bringing your mind to the present moment, awareness of the sitting body, and relax the entire body, minimizing any possible distractions, making sure you are sitting in a safe place, and have motivation to practice. And choose one object by feeling the entire body. And once you have chosen, spend time with it until you become familiar with it, until you don't have to pay attention to, but back of the mind already knows where the mind should be. And let all the senses begin to work. So working with the primary object to begin with, simply to gain the concentration, simply to train the mind to be able to focus on our intended object, an ability to be with it for some times. So continue practicing until you hear the gong. Let's practice the loving kindness meditation. Bring your attention to your heart, feeling the beating heart. As you feel the beating heart, sharing loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be well and happy. It is not just a word, but a true feeling that you really want to be happy. True feeling spreading all around. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I be free from suffering. Feeling freedom from any kinds of the sufferings. May I be free from ill will, hatred, animosities. The researchers have shown that when we share positivities towards oneself, always brings some form of a happiness. And similarly, sharing a loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, a person, a people, those who are living around you, acknowledging them, people in the house, in the community, in the city, in the country, and on earth and the universe. Acknowledging every kinds of beings, visible and invisible beings. May they be happy. May they be at peace. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from hurtfulness, hatred, calamities. May they be free from troubles of body and mind. Whatever beings there are, may all beings be well and happy. May no danger come to them. May whatever living beings without members in the world, from the 3 planes and 4 grounds of birth, whether 5 aggregates or 1 or 4, wandering on from realm to realm, those who know my act of a dedication, may they all rejoice in it, and as for those that are unaware, may the Devas let them know. By rejoicing in my sharing, may all beings live at ease, in freedom from hostility. May their good wishes be fulfilled, and may they all reach safety.